A Tesla Model S loses total control and crashes into a billboard at highway speed. A distracted pickup driver turns a stopped Tesla into a crushed can. And a cargo trailer breaks free, creating absolute chaos on the interstate. These are the most intense TeslaCam captures we've seen this week. Real accidents, real footage, real consequences. This is Tesla Fan Zone. A Tesla was cruising down an interstate highway through the Arizona desert on a clear, sunny day when something ahead caught their dashcam's attention. A white Tesla Model S appeared in the left lane, already traveling at a speed well above the flow of traffic. But something was wrong. The Model S started to lose traction in the rear, the back end beginning to swing out. The driver attempted to correct the slide, but instead of a smooth recovery, they oversteered hard to the right. That overcorrection sealed their fate. The car whipped violently across all lanes of traffic, crossing 3 full lanes as it went completely sideways. The Model S left the roadway at full highway speed. It was sliding directly toward the steel support post of a Lamar billboard. The impact was brutal. The Model S hit the post broadside with the driver's side, and the steel beam didn't budge an inch. The Tesla came to a complete stop instantly. The structural damage was total. This is a textbook example of why speed limits exist and why overcorrection at highway speeds is one of the deadliest mistakes a driver can make. The driver walked away from this one, but the car definitely didn't. Traffic was slowing to a crawl on a multi-lane interstate during a typical afternoon commute. A white Tesla Model 3 had its brake lights clearly illuminated, coming to a complete stop along with the rest of the flow. Behind it, a massive black Chevrolet Silverado Heavy Duty was approaching fast. The Silverado's brake lights weren't on. The pickup slammed into the back of the stationary Tesla at full highway speed. The force of the impact was devastating. The Silverado's front end rode up over the Tesla's trunk, crushing the rear crumple zone and shattering the rear glass instantly. Debris flew everywhere. This is what happens when you don't maintain following distance and you treat your 2-ton pickup like it can stop on a dime. Spoiler alert, it can't. A Tesla Model X was cruising through the Arizona desert on a clear day when disaster struck ahead on the left lane. A silver box trailer being towed by a vehicle suddenly disconnected from its hitch while traveling at highway speed. The trailer's nose dropped and slammed into the pavement, immediately sending up a shower of sparks and smoke. One of the trailer's wheels exploded on impact. The trailer crossed from the left lane into the center lane, directly into the path of a black pickup truck that had zero time to react. The Tesla driver hit the brakes hard, watching the carnage unfold just ahead. The trailer continued its slide, blocking 2 full lanes before finally coming to rest on its side. Here's the problem. This entire incident was preventable. Every trailer is required by law to have safety chains for exactly this reason. If those chains had been properly attached, the trailer would have stayed connected to the tow vehicle even if the hitch failed. Instead, we got highway demolition derby. The pickup driver is lucky to have walked away from that hit. Always check your safety equipment, folks. It's not optional. A Tesla Model X was following a semi-truck through the desert at a safe distance when the truck's rear tire suddenly failed. The tire didn't just go flat, it exploded catastrophically, likely a worn-out retread that finally gave up. A massive chunk of heavy rubber tread launched backward from the truck like a missile, bouncing once on the pavement before flying directly at the Tesla's windshield. The truck driver likely had no idea what just happened behind them and kept rolling down the highway. The Tesla's windshield required a complete replacement, and the cost of repairs ran into the thousands. This is why maintaining proper following distance matters, and why commercial vehicles need regular tire inspections. A Tesla was driving through extremely dense fog on an interstate when visibility dropped to almost nothing, maybe 10 or 15 feet at most. Suddenly, brake lights appeared ahead, not just 1 or 2 cars, but a complete wall of stopped traffic. The Tesla's automatic emergency braking kicked in, bringing the car to a controlled stop, but behind and around them, chaos was about to unfold. A silver sedan ahead was struck violently from behind by another vehicle that couldn't stop in time. The impact sent the sedan spinning across lanes. A dark SUV attempted an evasive maneuver to the left, barely avoiding getting crushed in the center of the pileup. When everything finally stopped, at least 6 vehicles were blocking the left and center lanes, twisting twisted at various angles. The Tesla sat safely behind the carnage, its dashcam capturing the entire chain reaction. Here's the rule that too many people ignore. If you can't stop within the distance you can see, you're going too fast. Fog doesn't care about your schedule. This pileup was completely avoidable if even one driver had slowed down appropriately. Emergency lights blinked through the fog as the scene settled into an eerie silence. Just another reminder that visibility and speed go hand in hand. A gray Mazda 6 was cruising in the left lane of an interstate when things started to go wrong. The sedan began drifting left, slowly crossing over the yellow line toward the concrete barrier. This wasn't an intentional lane change. This was a driver falling asleep or staring at their phone. Instead of calmly correcting back into the lane, they panicked and yanked the wheel hard to the right. At highway speed, that overcorrection was a death sentence for control. The car's weight shifted violently and the tires lost traction. The Mazda shot diagonally across all 3 lanes of traffic, passing directly in front of a white SUV in the center lane. The SUV driver had to brake hard to avoid being T-boned. It slammed into the barrier rear first with a massive crunch, sending up a cloud of dust and debris. The car bounced off the wall and came to rest sideways across the right lane. The entire sequence took less than 10 seconds, from the first drift to the final impact. The driver was probably fine, but their car definitely wasn't. During a torrential downstorm, a black Tesla Model Y was traveling on a flooded interstate. Water was pooling across the lanes, and visibility was severely reduced. The Model Y was moving too fast for the conditions, and as it passed over a particularly deep puddle, physics took over. The rear tires lost contact with the pavement completely. Classic aquaplaning. The back end swung out to the right as the front tires tried to grip. The car rotated violently, pointing its nose directly at the concrete median barrier. The Model Y hit the barrier with its front left corner and side, the impact sending the car into a full 180-degree spin. It slid across multiple lanes, now facing backward into oncoming traffic. Somehow, the Model Y avoided being hit by other vehicles. A silver sedan managed to swerve around it at the last second. The Tesla finally came to rest in the center lanes, facing the wrong direction with visible damage to its side. The driver was incredibly lucky that nobody rear-ended them. When it's raining this hard, slow down. It doesn't matter what car you're driving or how good your tires are. Water plus speed equals 0 traction every single time. A white box truck was cruising down an interstate when it began to drift slowly toward the right shoulder. The driver was clearly not paying attention, possibly asleep, possibly distracted. The truck's front right corner slammed directly into a concrete light pole at full speed. The impact was so violent that the truck nearly flipped onto its side, the right wheels lifting completely off the ground before crashing back down. But the real danger wasn't the truck, it was the light pole. The pole snapped at its base and began falling in slow motion directly across the highway lanes. The Tesla recording the footage slammed on its brakes as the massive metal pole crashed down onto the pavement, landing horizontally and blocking the entire roadway. The Tesla stopped just feet away from the fallen pole. Any later on the brakes, and this would have been a very different story. The box truck came to rest off the shoulder, its front end crumpled. The highway was now completely blocked by a light pole that had no business being there. One moment of inattention from a commercial driver, and suddenly an entire freeway is shut down. Stay focused behind the wheel, people. The consequences aren't just for you. A flatbed truck carrying a load of long metal pipes was traveling down Interstate 10 East near Baytown, Texas, approaching the Garth Road exit. A white Tesla Model Y was in the right lane, just minding its own business. The Tesla recording was in the center lane behind the truck. That's when the truck's cargo decided it had other plans. The metal pipes, which were clearly not secured properly, suddenly slid backward off the flatbed and crashed onto the highway. The pipes hit the pavement and bounced violently in every direction like javelins thrown by an angry giant. The Tesla Model Y had nowhere to go. Multiple pipes struck its front end and sides, and the car had to drive over several of them. Despite taking multiple hits and running over industrial steel pipes, the Model Y somehow maintained control and didn't spin out. The recording Tesla hit the brakes hard as pipes scattered across all lanes. Other vehicles swerved and braked to avoid the metal obstacle course now covering the interstate. The truck driver finally realized what happened and began pulling over. The highway was littered with pipes, blocking lanes and creating a massive hazard. This is why cargo securement laws exist. Those straps and tie-downs aren't suggestions. They're requirements that prevent exactly this kind of disaster. The Model Y took significant damage but kept rolling. That's impressive engineering meeting terrible trucking practices. Secure your loads, folks. It's not complicated. Don't forget to watch this video for more truck cargo failures, or this one if you want to see the worst overcorrection crashes ever caught on camera. Thanks for watching, and remember, TeslaCam sees everything. Drive safe out there, and we'll see you next week.